Students, welcome again to this next video lecture. In previous lectures, we have studied landmarks in development of human rights, and that was part one. And in this part two, we are going to study in detail the next things which were responsible or which help in the development of human rights. So before proceeding further, let's have a revision of previous contents that we have studied. So in previous lecture we studied the struggles or documents that helped in the development of human rights, and those documents or and struggle movements are Magna Carta of 1215, then influence of social contract theory, then English Bill of Rights of 1689, American Declaration of Independence of 1776, and American Bill of Rights. Okay, American Declaration of Independence of 1776 is different, and American Bill of Rights of 1791 is different. So in that Magna Carta we observe that that Magna Carta was considered as the first charter of liberty, and it was signed by the King John of England in 1215. So the main theme of that Magna Carta was protection against the arbitrary acts of the king, and according to the 63 clauses of the charter guaranteed certain basic civil and legal rights to citizens, and protected barons from unjust taxes. Means it was the against the unjust taxes which was levied, which was employed to the barons, and the barons were not ready to pay those heavy taxes to the king. So they revolted against the king's dynasty or king's power, and throughout that struggle or throughout that movement, Magna Carta, the Charter of Magna Carta was emerged, and that was the base of development in the human rights. Okay, so it gave certain concessions to clergy. That Magna Carta gave certain concessions to clergy, landlords, and nobles, and consequently restricted the powers of the king to the extent of those concessions were concerned. So the influence of again we discussed the influence of social contract theory. Hmm? And in the development of human rights, the influence of social contract theory is very profound in scope as well as in its impact. So the doctrine of social contract was closely linked with the theory of natural law, because the basic upon which the natural law theories were formulated was the same for the social contract also. Means whatever the doctrines of social contract theory and doctrines of natural law theory are the same, the doctrines are the same, the philosophy is the same. Okay, and these doctrines became popular during 16th and 17th century during the writings of Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Okay, so Thomas Hobbes wrote his book Leviathan in 1651, and according to Hobbes, man entered into social contract and put the natural state to end, and he said that this contract led to the creation of commonwealth, and the ruler was also the outcome of that contract. Okay, so and according to Hobbes, the people surrounded all their power to the king through the contract except the right of self-preservation. Hmm? And Hobbes was an exponent of absolute monarchy. So keep in mind, Thomas Hobbes wrote his book, and its name is Leviathan. Okay, and John Locke wrote two books, and those names are Essays Concerning Human Nature and Essays on Civil Government. So the doctrine was the same, that is social contract theory. And according to John Locke, social contract led to the creation of the society, and political contract led to the formation of the government. So Locke believed that people didn't transfer all their rights to the king through the contract, and the king was given only the right to life, right to property, and right to security. So the king is only trustee, and the people reserve the right uh, to dethrone the king if he fails to safeguard the security of the people. And Rousseau wrote the book The Social Contract, and according to Rousseau, people transferred all their rights to society and put the natural order to an end. So Rousseau regarded the real will of the society as the general will, and he considered general will as sovereign. General will has all power. So this forms the basis of government, and Rousseau regarded government as as an institution functioning under the general will of the people. Okay, so these things we observed. Again we observe the English Bill of Rights of 1689. Hmm? And we also observed the American Declaration of Independence of 1776, where 13 colonies of America revolted against the England for their independence. And according to this declaration, according to this, they demanded the independence from the British clutches. Okay, and that draft of American Declaration was prepared by Thomas Jefferson. The document of independence, Declaration of Independence of America, was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. Okay, uh, and that declaration was prepared on 4th July 1776. And further, another personality is that James Madison, who proposed 12 amendments in the form of a Bill of Rights in 1791. So 1776, on this date, the American Declaration of Bill of Rights was proposed, and in 1791, James Madison proposed 12 amendments in the form of Bill of Rights in 1791. So those amendments are considered as the first amendment, fourth amendment, fifth, 13th, 15th, 19th, 26th, 27th, and whatever the amendments were done, it was accepted and passed as it is by the Congress of America. Okay, so these things we studied in previous lecture. So right now we are going to study the next part, that is French Declaration of the Rights of Man of 17 Rights of Man of in 1789. So French Declaration of the Rights of Man of 1789. See here, the Declaration of the Rights of Man was a product of French Revolution. So that declaration, what is the declaration? Declaration of the Rights of Man was a product of French Revolution. Means what the French Revolution was happened in 1791, and the declaration was also proposed as a rights of man. So the revolution reached in climax in 1789, and the National Assembly swept away the ancient feudalism and serfdom. Means there was a feudalism was going on in those times. Feudalism means the quarrel or dispute between two dynasties. Hmm? It was going on there. So throughout this, National Assembly was swept away. Okay, and the slogan of the revolution was liberty, equality, and fraternity. So the French Revolution gave a fatal blow to absolute monarchy and a death blow to feudalism, and led to the establishment of French Republic. So the doctrines or principles we got from the French Revolution are the liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay, and all the special privileges were abolished, and the society came to be organized on the basis of equality. Means whatever struggles were done, feudalism was happened. Throughout those struggles, we got a society, organized society, and that organized society was based on the equality. So the French Revolution enabled the people to enjoy different kinds of rights, and the revolution established the novel ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. And the government should be not only for the people but also by the people. Means the government which was formed, that government should be for the people. That government should take care of the people, and that government which is formed solely formed by the people. Means at that time that movement was going on to have the democracy. Okay, and that democracy right now we are enjoying in our country has the base of uh, these struggles or movements that was happened in this 17th, 16th century and 17th century. So on 17th August 1789, the National Assembly proclaimed the rights of man and of the citizens, and the rights were formulated in 17 articles. The rights were formulated in 17 articles, and it declared that men are born free and equal in rights. Means all men are born free and equal in rights. Means there is no any kind of discrimination. We cannot discriminate on the basis of sex, gender, race, color, height, or anything. Okay, and it was declared in the 17th article in the French Declaration that men are born free and equal in rights, and the aim of all political association is to preserve the natural rights of man. Means whatever political parties might be formed, it has to observe that they should preserve that the natural rights of men should not be violated, confiscated, or taken away, or alienated. Okay, so these rights are liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. So these all natural rights included liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. Hmm? So the recognition of universality of these rights was the turning point in the evolution of human rights. So these rights got universally, got universalism, hmm, in the form of French Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen in 1789. And the following rights of the following rights that man and citizen have been recognized, among others, in the French Revolution. Those following rights are: men are born and remain free, equal in rights. And second is the aim of all political association is to preserve the natural rights of man. These rights are liberty, property, security, resistance to oppression. Then sovereignty rests essentially in the nation. Fourth is liberty consists in the ability to do whatever doesn't harm another. Means you have all kind of liberty, but that liberty should not harm another person or another creature. Hence, the existence of the natural rights of each man has no limits except those which assure to other members of society the enjoyment of the same rights. Means as we are human being, as you are single human being, you have the same rights like others also. So law can determine these limits. Means law can determine those limits where we can prohibit it, or what rights are prohibited to you in some conditions. So no man can be indicted, arrested, or detained except in cases determined by law, and all men should be presumed innocent until judged guilty. Means unless and until they are not proved that that person is criminal, till then that person is considered as an innocent person. Okay, and no one may be disturbed by his opinion, even in religion, provided that their manifestation doesn't trouble public order as established by law. Means we have that freedom of religion, but that religion should not disturb the public order. Okay, otherwise law will punish that particular person. So such kind of provisions were done in the Declaration of human rights of man and citizen. Again, next is free communication of thought and free opinion is one of the most precious rights of the man. Free communication of thought and free opinion is one of the most precious right of the rights of man. So every citizen may therefore speak, write, and print freely on his own responsibility. Okay, then taxes can be levied only with the consent of the citizens, and previously those taxes was levied or assigned or put to the people by the consent of the king. But here in French declaration, those taxes were levied by the consent of the citizens. Then society has the right to hold accountable every public agent of administration. Hmm? Means society can say that those public servants are should be accountable. If something wrong or something good happens there, that public servant is responsible. Okay, so that was the provision was done. Then next, property being a sacred right, no one may be deprived of it except for an obvious requirement of public necessity certified by law and then on condition of a just compensation in advance. That so property, the right to property was given to the common people also. Again, the human rights which are enjoying today is again developed various stages. So we discuss the American Bill of Rights, French Declaration of Man of Rights. Okay, so these things we have studied here. So next two elements are next three contents are the Bolshevik Revolution of Russia of 1917, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, and International Covenants on Human Rights. We will study in next video lecture. Till then, we stop here. Thank you.